Breaker Alpha Foxtrot, this is the Wizard. Do you read me, Sitting Duck?
This is Peking Duck. I hear you, Blizzard.
No, Sly, I'm the Wizard, and you're Sitting Duck.
I read you loud and clear, Lizard.
No, I'm... Forget it, you're not taking this seriously.
Yeah, I'm not. Look, Bentley, I know this is your first time out in the field, but you've gotta loosen up. If we're gonna get to those clockwork parts, I need you on your toes. So in plain talk, what's your status?
Okay, I spliced the wires. Ouch! Hold on. There it is. Okay. Let me at that security computer. The spotlights are offline. There goes the laser security system. I'm working on the security gate. Presto, all clear.
Thanks, pal. For your first time out, you did pretty well.
Oh, this operation is far from complete. Now that the lasers and spotlights are offline, Murray should be moving into position for your rendezvous. I'll stay here and provide computer support while you go on ahead.
Attention all guards, this is the network administrator. We're installing some new software into the security mainframe, so don't be alarmed if the systems get turned off for a while. Thunderflop! Greetings, citizen. I hope you weren't harmed by my meteoropic entrance. The Thunderflop knows neither friend nor foe, only destruction.
Yeah, could you maybe channel some of that raw energy into the security gate?
Of course, it is nothing before the Murray. Another barrier stands before you. Fear not, I shall bend it like the truth.
Solid work, Murray. You're really in the zone.
My hulking frame is too much for that puny rope. You go ahead and unlock the doors from the inside. I'll be waiting in the hallway to help you carry out the clockwork parts.
I don't get it, Sly. The clockwork part should be here. This is all wrong. We need to pull the plug on this operation right now.
Freeze, Cooper.
I haven't stolen anything. Yet.
Then who broke in last night and made off with all the clockwork parts? You've got the motive.
Someone already stole the parts?
Don't play dumb with me. It might not have been him, Carmelita. The method of entry and guard casualties all point to this being a Claw Gang job. I'm just saying that there are other criminals in the world other than... Sly Cooper! After him! You can't run forever!
Oh, geez. Wait up, Sly!
Shake a leg, Murray. It's time to go. This is getting a little hot. You guys go warm up the van. I'll keep Carmelita busy.
You're all going to jail.
Pick me up at the rendezvous.
You might be aware of something this game's heavier on: character interaction.
It has been a challenge and a pleasure trying to make the story work with 3 interactive characters, because you're switching perspectives very often throughout the game. So with all the characters, we work pretty hard to put them in positions which allow you to interactively experience who they are in their characters and experience the character of the baddies. They don't just yell at you, they attack you in a method that reflects who they are as people.
A hero's only as good as his villains. We wanted to create villains, making them dangerous, making them menacing, making them goofy. just giving them as much personality as Sly Cooper.
What is this with clocks, bro? Have you no vision? Are you hearing what I beam to you? You think you have juice? Don't show me a little mind when talking about such big things. You think you can swing the bat? Show your bling and let me shine you.
I have no idea what you're saying. And your suit sucks.
You're an ignorant child playing dress-up in his father's legacy. I have no interest in your narrow interpretation of morality. I'm above all that. Above good and evil.
And you think I'd give the eye to someone that's above morality?
Black clouds and thunderbolts! My spice temple ruined! I will no longer hide while you villains destroy my hard-won empire. This place is mine. Here I am king. Come, face me, Cooper. With Clockwork's black heart, I will show you true power. You are nothing. Come face the might of Rajan, lord of these hills.
Believe me, old-timer, I don't make idle threats.
Oh, I know all about you and your crack little gang. You ain't nothing without these little guys' brains. So, I figure I'll just scoop them out real slow and use them to fertilize my tomato plants.
I'm allergic to tomatoes.
The masterminds are generally more fleshed out than before. A huge amount of cutscenes have been added to help, a lot of them baked within missions to feed us substantial bits of information. Characters are no longer restricted to formulaic moments from the original thanks to these, especially the villains, who we see collaborate to get their plans in motion.
That fellow is very graceful.
If only you moved spice shipments as well.
Silence.
So the boys and I loaded up the van and zeroed in on our next target. A mysterious spice lord known as Rajan. A self-made man who grew up poor on the streets of Calcutta, he started his life of crime selling illegal spices in the black market, eventually growing his small outfit to a sizable operation, and earning himself a seat in the prestigious Claw Gang. Following the trail of spice shipments, we made our way up to Nunavut Bay, Canada, the secret hub of Jean Bisson's shipping empire. He took some chances and ended up buried alive in an avalanche. Miraculously, the quick freeze kept him alive, and 120 years later, thanks to global warming, he thawed out. Shipping spice for the Claw Gang proved a lucrative way to bankroll his one-man war against nature. And yet, I have to feel a little sorry for him. He's just a normal guy from the 1850s. Back in his day, he'd be a hero, but today, he's a villain.
Then why are you doing this to me?
Because, dear, you're honest. You see, by chasing after Sly Cooper, you learned too much about the Claw Gang and its spice operation. It was only a matter of time before you figured out that I was a secret member. So, when Neela gave me a chance to put you in custody, I took it.
Now, the local spice plants are illegal for good reason. Eat too many, and you'll go into a fit of uncontrolled rage.
Keep that stuff away from Murray.
I can't stress enough how well this game is written. It plays with a lot of adult themes in very mature ways. Manipulation, torture.
I'm still shocked sometimes that this kind of story is told in a game made for children.
It would easily be an M-rated game without changing anything. Spice is basically an illegal drug. The Getessa straight up tortures people. There was a full-blown war, but they skillfully made a very mature game E-rated so that anyone can enjoy it and appreciate it, and that's the real strength of this game.
Sly, Bentley, and Murray all have their own character arcs.
The writers had a full understanding of their characters and what they wanted to do with them.
Murray's change is the most radical, but totally in character.
Murray's all fired up to make the run for the key. While on the blasting station, use the left analog stick to aim and the square button to fire.
Oh, I'm going in, Sly. Yikes! Oh no! No! Yikes! I made it half.
Sly made a comment last time that suggests Murray has at last found confidence in himself after being thrown into so many dangerous situations. That gave him the courage to become a luchador-style crusader, calling himself
The Murray.
Of course, there was no way I could have gotten here without the help of my pals. I know this hasn't been easy for them, yet they stuck with me through it all. Murray, boy, it took a lot of guts for him to get out in the field with me. I know he was scared, but he's got more heart than anyone I've ever known. And thank goodness for Bentley. Without his expertise, I'd have never found my way off that rooftop in Paris. A guy couldn't ask for a better gang of friends.
He's gone from the hands-off burden of the group to the game breaker, something Nate Fox explained was a natural leap towards how players wanted to handle the extra weight they suddenly gained. Bentley's role as the brains is no longer restricted to just offering advice. He now leads the gang's heists as a master planner, every mission being part of his grand schemes. This means that occasionally he has to enter the breach himself to pull off a job.
Hey Bentley, how you holding up out there in the field?
Fine, I'm just fine. I just need to bomb all the pillars supporting that disco ball and I can get out of here.
What's with taking out the disco ball?
Its impact will shake the nightclub's front peacock sign loose from its mooring. Look, I can't talk now. I've got to keep moving, keep safe. Synchronize your watches. This heist is going to take extreme precision. Here's the plan. I'll start things off by demolishing the palace's main bridge.
Are you serious, Bentley? That's easily the most ambitious task he's ever given himself.
That should cut off reinforcements from the guest house and hopefully distract the ballroom guards standing watch over the clockwork wings, which will bring it all crashing down.
Just watch your head when that thing gets unstable. We need that brain of yours in one piece.
Last one. Uh-oh, the bridge is starting to crumble. Better watch out for falling stones. That's it for the lower section. Now for the main support beams. Okay, Sly, the bridge is down. I'll warm up the van and get ready with the RC chopper. Good luck.
So let me get this straight again. You plan on stalking that thing, drugging it, putting the guru on board, and setting the two free to smash up the guards?
An airtight plan, I agree. It's simplicity itself.
I'm all for evening the odds in our favor, but come on. This plan seems a little risky.
Not at all. I've modified my sleep darts with heavy doses of skunk balm. It should be enough to pacify the beast.
All right, that sounds okay. You can hang back and shoot him at a distance.
Well, given the weight of the darts, I'll need to sneak up behind him and take a shot within a few meters.
Meters?
Quit trying to freak me out and put the guru on the binocucom.
He was once afraid to step foot out of the safe house. Now he throws himself into missions with reckless abandon. This is coupled with an improved fondness for explosives, guns, squeezing the trigger. He doesn't need to blow his nose anymore. He'll blow yours.
The heroes are fleshed out significantly as well, with Bentley at points totally shining, and Murray actually getting a character. Instead of just eating and being dumb, now his strength is played up, and he acts like a superhero named the Murray. It's fantastic. This whole story is fantastic.
It's the last vital ingredient to show players how close these people are. They're always swapping banter, often picking at personal details, which gives you the impression that they're really paying attention to each other.
My pleasure. You know how I love to mess around with Carmelita.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's an excellently balanced set of traits that lives up to the Band of Thieves name.
The writing in this game is amazing and even better than the writing in Sly 1. The banter is even wittier, the stakes feel higher, the characters feel more believable, layered, and grounded. Most importantly, the story gives weight to these stakes, and there are consequences for these actions. Characters don't just walk things off, they are changed both physically and emotionally by the events of this game.
We see the Cooper gang pushed to its limits several times. We see villains outrun and even outsmart our heroes.
It was all so strange. The focus of all our schemes had been stolen from us. Our clockwork parts were gone. Looking around the inside of the battery, I knew we all felt it. Failure. I was twitchy and ready for action. Any action. Bentley tried to make some sense of the situation by drawing up meaningless plans. But Murray Murray took it the worst. He just sat there sobbing while the team van floated away over the horizon. That van was his life.
At the end of the day, Sly 2 is not only my favorite in the trilogy, but one of my favorite 3D platformers of all time. It took all the elements that were only just starting to blossom in Thievius Raccoonus and completely tore the roof down with Band of Thieves. And in my opinion, this is the best game in the trilogy, by far.
Not only was Sly 2 incredibly successful, but it's aged like a fine wine.
Sly 2, Band of Thieves. This is legitimately one of the best fucking sequels of all time, and you cannot tell me otherwise.
It's a solid platformer, a solid stealth action game, a solid adventure game. It's a damn good game.
When I say that Sly 2 is one of the best PS2 games of all time, I'm not exaggerating one bit. The game has a little bit of something for everybody. This is only Sucker Punch's third game that they had ever made, and they absolutely hit it out of the park. The question is, where do we go from here?
Okay, you both remember the plan, right?
Of course! My mind is like a steel cap!
That's trap, big guy. And everybody relax. We've been over it 1,000,000 times. What could possibly go wrong?
Famous last words. Look, we're only gonna get one shot at this, so we can't mess up.
All right, no messing up allowed. Now stop worrying. This is gonna be a piece of cake. I'll see you both inside. Now let's get going. Okay, Bentley, I'm in place. Let me know when you shut down the security system.
Patience, Sly. You can't rush greatness, and I'm about to code a hacking masterpiece. Interesting. The last time I was in these sewers, I was just a teenager. Hello, old friend. We have to reach the main docking gate before the security code flushes us from the system. I can use this data key to disable that firewall. And that's the way the code base crumbles. Okay, Murray, you're up.
The Murray is always on, Bentley!
Okay, Murray, we need to get you back in fighting shape. Why don't you warm up with a few basic attacks?
Huh? Where did you come from, shortstop? My knuckles are just getting warmed up. I almost feel sorry. That felt great!
Everything okay, Murray?
Now it is!
Okay, Sly, the security system is down. You're all clear.
Great. I'm going in. What the?
You didn't really think you were gonna get away with it, did you, Ringtail?
Hey, Carmelita! Oh, funny meeting you here.
Sly Cooper, you no good lying thief! I'm locking you up for good!
Sorry, gotta take a rain check. I'll call you.
Cooper!
Good evening, this is Sly Cooper. I'd like to request a ride.
You, Sly. Now quit messing around and get down here. We're in the van and ready to roll.
Let's hit it.
Buckle up, boys! Oh yeah! Just like in a demolition derby!
Look out! Oh, I think I cracked my shell. Where are you going?
Just setting up for the jump! Welcome to Air Murray! Thanks for flying!
Nice landing, Murray. Hey, Bentley, not to complain, but we're kind of trapped here.
Relax, Sly. Just put the dagger in the receptacle. Perfect. Isotopic decay calibrated. Adjusting fusion synthesis. Anytime you want to punch it, Murray.
You got it, chum!
Do not slow down, Murray.
I never do! Whoa!
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the stage. I'm here with Glenn Egan from Sanzaru Games, who has a great surprise for us. Sly Cooper, a new Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time. Before we jump into it, you did not make the original, but you guys are making the new one. Talk to us how that happened.
We were working with Sony back in 2008, and we were kind of like thinking about what we're going to do next.
Yeah.
And we were seeing what was going on with Sucker Punch. They're working on Infamous, huge, epic, awesome game, and we're like, I don't think they're going to have time to make another Sly. Right. And we're like, I really want to play another Sly, you know? And so we got ourselves a PlayStation 3 development kit. We put together a prototype. We went into Sony and pitched. We're like, hey, how about Sanzaru makes the next Sly Cooper game? Looking back at Sly Cooper 1, we really loved the boss battles they had in there. They were sort of these layered, sort of complex, kind of pattern-oriented boss battles. And so we really wanted to, you know, take that to the PS3 and just really amp it up and turn it into these sort of big set piece, just massive conflicts, you know?
All right, you tin can with teeth. Let's see what you're really made of. Nice shooting, Ringtail. Stay out of her reach, Ringtail.
The villains in Sly 4 are okay. I'd probably as a whole put them as the weakest in the series. None of them ever pose a huge threat in my eyes, and in a few cases they feel redundant. Every villain in Sly 4 in some way represents an homage to the original trilogy, and while I respect that, it weakens each of them when I get a feeling of been there, done that.
Grizz's primitive artwork was hailed as a brilliant new style called paleo graffiti, and for a while he enjoyed a celebrity status. His fame was short-lived, however, when people realized his art was really just bad. Resentful, he returned to his criminal roots, quickly becoming the top art thief on Interpol's most wanted list. Dimitri, a sort of underworld celebrity, equally at home in high-class art circles and shady back-alley crimes. He was once a passionate young art student who worked hard to develop his own visionary style. Unfortunately, the art world wasn't quite ready for his kinetic aesthetic. So he gave them what they wanted and started forging old masterpieces, his way of punishing those with bad taste. Miss Decibel had come from a wealthy British family. Her true love was classical music.
Unfortunately, her complete lack of musical talent, coupled with an extreme temper, made for a volatile combination.
Growing up, this guy used to be a real celebrity in the neighborhood. Everyone loved to hear him sing opera and said he was destined to be the next great tenor. But just as his career started to take off, musical tastes changed. Suddenly, it was all about rock music, and no one wanted to listen to opera anymore.
I don't think it would be controversial for me to say it's the weakest in the series.
It's very hard to appreciate Sly 4 as much as I would like when the game runs like total trash. It's unprecedented that I would mention something like the frame rate negatively affecting 2 different categories in a review, but the frame rate and the loading times here are genuinely that bad that they hurt the game twice.
The game runs like ass. Every world has terrible frame rate drops. Anytime you are overlooking the level at any decent elevation, expect the frame rate to tank. Loading times are so long in this game. Basic transitions are at least 50 seconds. Your first loading of any play session is going to take multiple minutes.
This thing has just god-awful load times. And unlike in previous Sly games, you're automatically sent back to the safe house after every mission.
In the original games, when a mission ended, you were left where you were, and if you wanted to change character, you had to go all the way back to the safe house manually. In Tits, they tried to solve this seemingly futile exercise in effort by instantly teleporting you back to the safe house. In actuality, this was a complete non-issue. It discourages you from exploring more during the story mode, and given the atrocious loading times in and out of the safe house, it becomes something of a nuisance.
Like, it can take 20 seconds or more before you get out into the hub, and God forbid you accidentally select the wrong character and have to go back in to switch them.
Returning from Sly 1 and Sly 2 that were absent in Sly 3 are the clue bottles, and my god, these are a nightmare to find. The issue isn't the clue bottles themselves, but really the issue is the size of the hubs. In Sly 2, all the hubs were the perfect size, and the best part being how they had plenty of landmarks to make sure you knew where you were at all times, even without the markers in the sky saying so.
The question became, once they switched to open world, how to make that work in a static space, and the answer sprung from a real-life example. Disneyland uses a method of landmarking known as weenies, a shorthand term for bits of architecture that serve as visual magnets. Mostly, this is so the guest knows where they are at any given time. The castle, for example, sits at the park center, and is designed to be the first thing the guest sees once they enter, so they're mentally aware of a focal point they can orientate around. Different landmarks then let you know which part you've wandered off to or where you're closest to next. Sly uses the same principle to make naturally sprawling environments feel conquerable. Landmarks need to be framed inside of environments from above and below, so you're not lost when you suddenly turn a street corner. It's also used to create associations for the guest via theming, and make important stuff stand out. Note, in the Paris chapter, how Dimitri's boat looks an awful lot like the nightclub sign, or how the Contessa's house projects a Black Widow symbol. It is possible, of course, to find where you want to go with the new Binocucom, but it doesn't diminish the appreciation of the way a stage will naturally guide you to important spots.
The ones in Sly 3 were even smaller and had even more landmarks to make every area feel distinct. In this game, the hubs are way too vast, with locations looking incredibly similar. Good luck finding anything.
One of the highlights, I think, of the Sly series were the aesthetics. Like the look of the game, it didn't look like anything else. What are you able to do now with that look, with the processing power of the PS3?
We got so much more detail, just so much more animation, and just make them even more expressive. So they're just so emblematic of the Sly Cooper series. Bigger, of course, more lush, more organic, but still really staying true to the original art style, those sort of bold shapes and just really rich colors.
I really dislike the new animated cutscenes.
In the first 3 titles, the cutscenes were evocative of a comic book, using angular, bold drawings to convey a sense of style that differed from the in-game graphics. Sanzaru appears to have missed the point.
Broken alone, I was dumped at the town orphanage. There I met 2 guys who became my lifelong buddies and trusted crew. Bentley, techno genius and strategist supreme, and Murray, part-time driver and full-time burden. Together we pledged to track down the Fiendish Five, avenge my father, and steal back the Thievius Raccoonus. I knew I was about to face the toughest test of my life. On this mission, I would either become a master thief like my ancestors before me, or fail and allow my family name to bite the dust. I had taken down each member of the Fiendish Five: Raleigh, Mugshot, Ms. Ruby, the Panda King, and finally Clockwork. I'd beaten them all one by one and reclaimed my birthright.
Carmelita had cooled off a bit, but she hadn't forgiven me yet, and I really couldn't blame her. The last thing she wanted to do was join up with a bunch of thieves, something that went against everything she stood for. I could tell it was a tough decision, but in the end, she knew it was probably her only shot at busting the paradox. Dimitri was happy to finally hear from us, as he'd been worried his bros were warping their faces off. Whatever that meant. He pointed us to our next destination, medieval England, and as it turned out, Grizz's crown was the perfect object to get us there. So, although we'd only uncovered this Ice Age scheme by accident, luck was definitely on our side. And we left in a confident mood, ready to tackle whatever fate had in store for us.
They now look more like a really forgettable mid-2000s Cartoon Network show. In a vacuum, I probably wouldn't have disliked these, but I think the old style was far more compelling.
Sly Cooper Thieves in Time answers the same question Sly 3 asked itself about the gameplay, but I believe it was a much more interesting answer this time around. What is the gameplay beyond Sly Cooper, Bentley, and Murray? Yep, here it is again. This time the answer is to play as the lineage of the Cooper thieves you spent a decade hearing about. Tennessee Kid Cooper, Salim Al Cooper, Ryoichi Cooper, Bob!
What's your name? My name's Sly. Sly Cooper. What's yours? Right. How about I just call you Bob?
Okay, Ryoichi. I guess I don't need to tell you about your old place. Quite ingenious of you to use your sushi knives as door keys, by the way.
Bentley-san, I am a ninja master.
Right. My bad. Anyway, there's no way to get in from the street. If only you could get to the roof.
Ah, for a ninja, there is always a way.
Okay.
Greetings, friend. But I require no rescue.
I am merely biding my time
until the proper strategic moment. Yes, that.
All right, this is it. You'll need to shut down those 3 sub-generators to disable the central device, but be careful. I suspect the system has an auto-reset, and you'll need to deactivate them all before that happens.
Enough twaddle and gobbledygook. Time for action!
Oh boy. Commonly known as the spiky wall climber, it secretes a mild toxin we can use to make sushi rolls that will put any guard to sleep instantly. Just be careful not to be overcome yourself.
Bentley-san, did I not explain?
You're a ninja master. I know.
Hey? No, allow me to show you how it's done.
Well, now at least I know where Sly gets it from.
Sly has now gone from the likable, witty, but grounded and introspective hero into a loudmouth, obnoxious buffoon. He is very witty and will say sarcastic remarks, but this is in moderation.
Freeze, raccoon!
How can I freeze when my heart warms at the very sight of you?
In these games, Sly is sarcastic. There's no getting around that, it's a part of his character. However, Sly 4 extremely flanderized him to the point of irritation, and as a result was always saying ridiculous quips. This Sly knows what's at stake here, and so he takes his enemies seriously, but is also extremely confident as well.
Listen, Raleigh, wipe up my family and steal what's mine? You better expect company. Yeah, well, if he's anything like the rest of you, I think I'll manage.
Why should you care if I bury a few worthless village in snow? You are a thief, just like me.
No, that's only half right. I am a thief from a long line of master thieves, while you're just a frustrated firework artist turned homicidal pyromaniac.
I've got the key to this island. This fortress is mine. Everything here is mine. Which now includes the key to the vault. Hand over the king.
Sorry, pal. Family heirloom. Buy a knockoff at the gift shop.
Hey, Cooper! What do you think of my statue?
Ha! Looks like a real pigeon magnet.
Ah! I hope you can fly like a pigeon, Cooper! Otherwise, you'll never catch me!
We'll see about that. El Jefe. Isn't that Spanish for big baby?
Nobody shuts up in this game. Characters cannot go what feels like 30 seconds without blurting out some unfunny quip. Bentley is by far the worst offender.
The last time I was in these sewers, I was just a teenager. Well, that was a blast. Thank you, technology! Why didn't I wear my rubber gloves?
The banter between characters like Sly and Bentley feel less witty. They constantly crack unfunny jokes at each other, as if we were supposed to find this endearing despite both of the characters never being amused by the other's antics, and it feels like they're just going through the motions.
I bet the farm it's Gallinscade.
You have a farm?
Just get over there. Okay, Sly, get up that tower and you can break out the new outfit and toy I made with those materials.
Oh, so there was a reason for that.
Of course. Something's funny. My instrument readings show this place is producing a lot more power than it needs for baking.
Maybe there's a secret donut facility.
Maybe you should give the jokes a rest and see if you can find some wood.
Fine. See if I bring you back any donuts.
All right, listen up. Playtime is over. Your job is to get back in shape, and my job is to make that happen. To do that, the Murray is taking your training to the next level. A real fighter knows when to strike and when to back off, like whether or not to have one more pepperoni and chocolate chip burrito. Like the Murray, you need to develop your reaction speed, and not just at the dinner table. Bob, you've got what it takes. You earned those medals, but there's one last test. You've got to put it all together, everything at once, sort of like a triple-decker pizza. You know what you gotta do. Now make the Murray proud.
That should do it. The laser door should be going away.
They must have another computer or something. Penelope, I've been doing this a long time. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that when the plan gets messed up, always fall back on the golden rule.
Yeah? What's that?
Break stuff.
Yes!
Wow, you're pretty good at breaking stuff. I can respect that.
Yes! We're in!
What do you see? Is it awesome?
There's plenty of loot, but the foundation looks rotted out. Totally unstable.
Hey Murray, Sal's on his way to your position. How you coming with the treasure?
We're doing awesome! Stand aside, Penelope! Cannonball!
No, wait!
Uh-oh.
Dimitri, funny seeing you here. Never pegged you as a flyboy.
The metal's too resilient for my bombs or your muscle. No, for this job, we are going to have to rely on a stronger force. The love of a mother for her child.
You got something to tell me?
This is it, Sly. The lion's just ahead.
Open sesame.
That outfit makes you a better thief, Sly, not a genie. Now, why don't you help me with this door?
Close sesame.
Am I glad you're here. Mama's making spaghetti tonight and I'm starving. I'm gonna eat like 4 plates of food.
I guess you really like a cookie.
Mamma mia, I want to be buried in her sauce. It's heaven.
Any problems with that guy?
Said he wanted to be buried in his mom's pasta sauce.
Yeah. That's strange.
You know, I just can't get it out of my head. Have you ever had pasta sauce that tasty? I don't want to distract you or anything, but I just don't think I've ever had cooking that good. Are we like missing out on a whole universe of flavors here?
So I'll go in, undercover, and control the situation by introducing the patrons to my special home-brewed sarsaparilla.
Your mustache looks bigger. What have you been feeding it?
Pay attention, Sly.
You're not gonna start wearing that mustache all the time, are you? The circus. I could have been the greatest trapeze artist.
Sure. Anyway, the tent.
And with your shell, you'd be a natural for the guy they shoot out of the cannon every night.
Right, cannons. Look, you better go check out that tower. It's a good vantage point, and we can assess the situation from there.
All right, boys. Look tough and get angry.
It's time to intimidate the locals.
I'm not sure I can do it. How do you guys get angry?
Find the match deep inside yourself. Light it, and let the fire burn up your guts and boil your blood!
Yeah, I pretty much do the same thing. You know, maybe there's a good Italian restaurant around here.
Enough with the sauce! Keep your focus, we're on a job here! Thugs everywhere, death around every corner!
You're right. We got one more coffee house to hit, then we're done.
Yes, now you're talking sense!
And then we eat.
Sly, I've got a crazy idea. That outfit may not work on the guards, but I bet outsiders like Le Paradox and Miss Decibel wouldn't know the difference. She's expecting deliveries for the thieves, right? Try using the outfit to impersonate the delivery boy.
Excellent idea, Bentley. And just to ensure it's foolproof, I'm gonna use my...
No, Sly, don't say it!
Italian accent!
I said crazy, Sly, not suicidal.
And who is this little peepsqueak?
It's me, the delivery boy. You were called? The other boys are out sick. Something about the snake bites.
Is there something wrong with your voice?
No, I've talked like this my whole life.
How droll.
Sly, it's a good thing we're in Arabia, because in Italy that accent would be considered a felony. Now let's go rescue those thieves. Your mother was a broken down tub of junk with more gentleman callers than the operator. Are you all set with your gear?
Got the gear, got the macho swimsuit, got more juice than you'll ever know. I'm a hit singer with a bullet.
Cool, Daddy-O. How about you take your pimp self down beneath the H2O and get nasty with the scuba? Yo, with bling.
Hey, man, you can try, but you'll never capture my essential style. It's like smoke, ungrabbable and all over the place. But no matter nothing, come at me with some turtle talk. You've got your own flavor.
Cool. How does this sound for a stage name? The Amazing Cooperone! Huh? Right? It's good.
All this comes back to the writing once more, but it is again pause for thought as these characters just don't feel like the characters that went through the Sly Cooper trilogy.
Funny, but here I am at the end, and suddenly all I can think about is what a coward I've been towards Carmelita. I never took the next step. Looking at Bentley and Penelope, it's clear what life is about. If Carmelita was here, I'd tell her straight out how I feel, and quit playing around. Put our professional differences aside and see if we can make it work. But that'll never happen now.
Having hung up my mask and cane, I was enjoying life on the other side of the law. But as time went on, the old itch came back, and I knew I needed to pull a heist.
Specifically, Sly, Bentley, Murray, and Carmelita just don't act like the same people who have been through the character arcs we saw. Carmelita's whole character has gone from the no-nonsense cop who gets the job done to making every single thing she does in this game revolve around Sly and her relationship with him, as she went from Carmelita, the law, to Carmelita, the ex-girlfriend, as seen in Thieves in Time.
You must only have eyes for me if you're too blind to see what's going on around here.
All I see is a pathetic thief who's escaped justice for far too long.
I'm proud to be a thief, especially when I'm stealing from a vicious extortionist like the Panda King. Open your eyes, detective. These quaint temples are a front for an illegal explosives factory.
Don't try to confuse the issue. You criminals are all the same, and none of you can escape justice.
About time you showed up, Miss Fox. Was getting worried about you. Thought you took a wrong turn somewhere back in Paris.
The only one making wrong turns is you, Sly. I'd suggest you surrender before I paralyze you with my good friend, the shock pistol.
Now see, a girl whose best friend's a firearm's got issues. A little dinner, a little dancing. I think I can help you out.
You've got some serious nerve showing up in my squad room.
I was concerned we were growing apart.
Then let's spend some quality time together in my interrogation cell.
So forward. What happened to the demure girl I used to know?
She grew up and stopped taking grief from guys like you.
Guys like me? Are you saying I've got some competition for your affections?
You're the only man in my sights right now.
When I saw that arrogant little, that no good lying... Ugh, I should have tied his mangy tail around his neck. I should have blasted that smug look right off his face. I don't know what made me angrier. Not being able to bust the lowlife skunk, or being trapped here with that lying ringtail. Ooh! The only bearable thing about this whole mess was that at least Cooper's ancestor was a gentleman.
Who could ever forget the lovely Carmelita? Looks like we're not going to be friends anymore. Now that Clockwork's death ray is out of commission, we're back to playing cops and robbers. I thought for sure she was going to slap the handcuffs on me right then and there. But instead, she was true to her word and gave me that 10-second head start. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Carmelita! Are you all right?
I am. No thanks to you. I should leave you in that cage after what you pulled, Sly Cooper. Why, if it wasn't for this handsome and charming gentleman, I wouldn't even be here.
Aw, shucks. Handsome and charming? Really? Look, Carmelita, I know...
Save it, Sly.
Carmelita, what are you doing?
Relax, Ringtail. Just keeping tabs on the Dragon Slayer.
Then you better get going before Sir Goof gets himself captured again.
Once again, going through the exact same arc of realizing she and Sly are fighting for the same thing, just not on the same side of the law, which for the millionth time took 3 games of back and forth build-up and has now been relegated to 2 chapters of screen time.
In the past, I'd always chased Sly, arriving on the scene after the fact. But now that I'd fought alongside him, with Bentley, Murray, and his ancestors, I had to admit a newfound respect.
You better get out of there!
Hold on. That's Carmelita. She looks trapped.
Are you crazy, Sly? Clockwork probably stuck her there to trap you!
But if I don't do anything, Carmelita's doomed. Besides, stealing just won't be any fun without her.
Sly, your ridiculous raccoon logic sends shivers up my shell.
I don't get it, Cooper. I've hunted you for years, tried to throw you behind bars, but when you get a chance to leave me in a cage, you set me free. Why?
Carmelita, we may be on opposite sides of the law, but you're not my enemy.
Until Clockwork and his evil schemes are destroyed, I suggest we work together.
Together at last.
Why are you doing this? Neela! She set me up. I'm an honest cop.
I don't think they've seen you. Take a few photos and get out of there.
No. I've got to help Carmelita. She's in trouble here.
There's nothing you can do now. Get the recon photos and come back to the safe house. I swear we'll find a way to help her.
Things hadn't gone exactly to plan, but the Contessa was beaten and the Clockwork Eyes were finally mine. Carmelita, still on the outs with Interpol, had to run with the rest of us. To my surprise and eternal delight, I got to help my favorite policewoman escape from the cops.
Hold it right there! Both of you thieves are going to jail.
Nice to see you, gorgeous.
You too.
Oh, a love interest. I might be beaten, but I'll make you suffer.
Not her!
Alas and alack, I feel as though I have been ground into sausage. I thank you, milady, but must confess, rescue by a fair damsel wounds me deepest.
I think I understand. What do you say we make this our little secret?
I would be thrice grateful and in your debt. What a fair and gracious maid you are, Carmelita.
I think I like the sound of that.
Jealousy is such an ugly emotion, Sly.
More egregious is Murray, who trains Bob Cooper in Chapter 3, but when he can't climb the wall, his 20-minute character arc is learning to accept his own limitations and do what he can for the group instead of lamenting what he can't.
which is literally his arc in the trilogy.
Just give me a minute. I almost got it. Ugh.
Murray, I'm sure you could do it, but we just don't have the time. We need to move fast here. I'm going with Plan B.
Wait, you don't mean...
Yep, I'm calling it Bob.
Great! The Murray just got benched.
Relax, Murray. Climbing's his specialty. Besides, you should be proud. You were the one that trained him. Why don't you come back to the hideout and have a snack?
I'm not hungry. I'm the one who's just a penguin herder now.
Murray, are you still upset about the climbing thing? Come on, it just worked out better that way. Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, myself included. And trust me, we can't do anything without your might. That's why we're a team.
I guess. Well, it looks like I've got some birds to round up. Great, snakes on a stick! I don't believe it! It's the team van! Last time I saw it, it was floating away on a block of ice in Canada. I gotta go get it. Don't worry, baby. Mama's coming. Oh, my sweet van. How I've missed you. Don't worry. I'll break you out of your icy prison.
Forget the van. You'll never make it.
But no. No. Either help me or get out of my way. I'm bringing her home.
Sorry, Murray, but I'm out of fuel and I can't do anything about those spikes in your way. You did your best. We just ran out of options.
Get out of there! Save yourself!
I will not. I will never leave her behind again.
Words to tear at a father's heart. Would that I had such passion when they came from my little Jing King.
We need a diversion for the guards, so I've taken the liberty of fashioning an outfit for Carmelita, who will use it to lure the guards away from their posts by, performing a belly dance.
What? Possibly your best plan ever, Bentley.
I'm sorry I didn't ask, Carmelita, but you're the only one who can pull this off.
Bentley, I could do it.
I am not getting into that outfit.
I realize it's a bit revealing, but think of it as going undercover.
Bentley?
I'm positive the Murray could squeeze into that thing.
Hey, Carmelita, you should model that outfit for us to make sure it fits.
Shut up, Ringtail. I'm only doing this for the team.
Listen, silk is very elastic. Eat it, thou. I broke your temple, and I'll break your face for messing with the Cooper gang.
I'm done talking with my mouth. Now I talk with my fists.
Konnichiwa! I am the most famous Madam Geisha. Please allow me to entertain you.
You're right to be scared, Hippo. Your wheelchair friend should have been so smart.
Murray! Help!
That does it! I'll floss my teeth with your spine! The Murray returns!
Murray, we have to help him.
Wait a sec, guys. Murray can handle this.
What?
Yeah, it's okay. Bentley's right. My money's on the Hippo.
Oh, snap! What have we here? It's a pink nightmare.
Trust me, pal. You ain't dreaming.
You better check the script, fat man, because the Grizz is about to show you how to skate top.
I guess this makes up for all my screw-ups
Murray,
lately.
we all make mistakes. It happens. But it doesn't matter because we're a team, and we all have each other's backs. That's why we're unbeatable.
Yeah, what he said. Today, you were the hero, Murray, and don't you forget it.
Aw, shucks. Hey, I'm starved. Anybody bring anything to eat? French fries? Pizza? Anything? An apple, even?
Neela, now!
Sorry.
What are you doing?
Oh, Sly! I'm coming, buddy!
Murray!
This is it? This is the Cooper gang I've heard so much about and feared these long hours?
The Murray will renew your fear!
Who's the Murray? All I see is a fat, pathetic weakling!
I might be big and not as smart as the other guys, but one thing I'm not is weak! The Murray scores again!
And Penelope. Yeah, Penelope's a villain now. There were no hints of animosity toward the Cooper gang or any ulterior motives. Like, where the hell did this come from?
But now, with the Black Baron out of the picture, she was free to take up a new path, and she joined the gang without hesitation.
Anything for Sly. I love to see him pull off those athletic moves. There you go, Sly. Hope it's everything you could have wished for. My pleasure. Really. Anytime.
Sly, isn't it time you climbed up there and joined Murray?
Just the field, man. Sounds like you're jealous. Yeah, he's not the most technical guy. Hey, let's get moving. We won't find the back entrance just standing around. Oh, sorry about that standing comment.
If only Bentley hadn't been brainwashed by Cooper's honorable thief nonsense, we could have made billions in weapon design. The two most brilliant minds on the planet working together? We could have owned the world!
As always, he'd left a calling card. Only this time, it was worth millions.
Poor Bentley. He's kinda cute when he's being dumb. You know the most valuable thing Sly ever stole? Your potential! Together, we could change the world, but you're still chasing after honor for chump change. When are you gonna wake up?
The attention to detail in this game is just so awful.
See, in cutscenes, Sly's backpack is red, but in-game it's brown. And Murray is purple in the cutscenes, but he's pink in-game.
Cutscenes also have a few issues with dialogue. Character lines come in too early and play over each other where it doesn't make sense.
Almost depleted.
Can't we just starve these filthy hoodlums into submission?
Remember, you can use any of your shooting skills while rail sliding.
Faster than a jackalope with his tail on fire!
Grab him, Murray! That's the last
Sorry,
one!
pal! For what it's worth,
Once there, Tennessee gave us the lowdown, how he'd been planning the bank heist that should have gone down in Cooper lore as his masterpiece, only to have a mysterious new sheriff arrest him before he even reached the bank.
And nobody's going to find this entrance. Time to take a little look. That's my goal!
All right, security, thy game is hacked. Awesome, Murray! Okay, Tennessee, you're up.
Shoot! I'll be in and out quicker than a hyperactive rattlesnake.
hey guys! This door's kinda, heavy.
Oh, that looks bad. I've never seen Murray like this.
He's all twitchy and bug-eyed.
You said Murray was being forced to eat spice, right?
Yeah, he said he was feeling weird. Keep that stuff away from Murray. Thanks for busting me out.
Oh, well, you know the old saying, if you can't count on a friend to bust you out of jail, what kind of a friend are they?
Truer words were never said, wizard.
Without making Murray out to be dumb or idiotic, Nate Fox's writing reveals that Bentley is more deliberate and speaks slower for Murray to help him understand the task at hand.
Okay, Murray. That alarm horn will tip off Dimitri during our heist. There are 3 of them out here, and I need you to take them out.
Check.
This is going to take some serious muscle, Murray. You're the only guy on the team who can pull this off.
It makes no sense. They literally say in the description the Clockwork Eye was still intact after the hate chip gets destroyed in Sly 2.
And there we were, at the end of the road. The Claw Gang had been defeated and the clockwork parts lay scattered around in heaps. Yet, despite the explosion, they remained pristine. The hate chip. And just like that, it was over. Without that core piece, that essential center of clockwork, there was nothing left. The parts aged before our eyes as if time had finally caught up with the ancient bird.
Thanks, but Tennessee, we need to go.
The story is one of the worst things ever put to paper.
Your family getting erased from history was a cool setup, but once you get to the later stages of the game's plot and talk face to face with La Paradox, that's where it starts to fall apart for me. It becomes another I'm getting revenge for my family because they were overshadowed by the Giga Chad Cooper clan. Paradox is just a whiny shit villain that's jealous, and I could not stand hearing him speak. And the whole being in the shadow of Sly's father was already the main motivation for the villain in 3.
Headstrong, just like your father.
You don't know anything about me or my father.
Really? Once upon a time, he and I worked together for your dear old dad.
My father wouldn't have run with a guy who tried to steal from the Cooper vault, let alone attempt to kill his son.
Time does strange things to people. Just look at the real leader of your gang, Bentley.
Whatever. We're friends. Equals.
Then why is it called the Cooper Gang, you self-centered egomaniac?
That's enough. We made a major discovery. I knew that my dad's heist of the world's largest diamond had made him a legendary thief, but what I never knew was that La Paradox's father had planned to steal it first, and frame my dad for the crime. Only he was a little too slow. With his father gone, La Paradox had no one to teach him the family business. Clearly, he blamed the Coopers for his family's past misfortunes.
This is going to be the payday of all time. Think of all the loot piled up back there.
Do you ever feel like you're playing second fiddle to Sly? Like he treats us as sidekicks?
No way! Sly's cool. We're all in this together.
Sure, we're all here, but are we equal? Who went into the vault? Sly. By himself.
Think of it this way, Bentley. If it were you in that vault and Sly and I were out here, what would he do?
Stop these thugs and protect his friend.
Right, and that's what I'm gonna do. Keep your head down, stay clear. I'm gonna smash a lot of skulls, and I don't want yours to be one of them.
Ah, Murray, you're much stronger than McSweeney ever was.
That's right, plughead. I'm like a semi-truck with its brakes cut.
I don't have time to get in a screaming match with a caveman like yourself.
Then lock horns with me.
I have no fight with you, Bentley. You and I are the same.
I gather you were the technical specialist working with Sly's father?
You knew Sly's dad?
Quiet, caveman. The adults are talking. That's right, Bentley. I know the pain you suffer working under your inferior.
It's no secret, I'm smarter than the other guys. But there's more to it than that.
Like what?
Like brotherhood. That's the thing that keeps us happy and alive. It's why I'm going to stop you.
And me too.
Fine, Cooper Gang. I tried.
Caveman attack!
Why'd you do it, La Paradox? Why the ancestors? Why not just come after me? What's the deal?
The deal? The deal is you, Coopers. You destroyed my father, and you almost got me. But not quite. And when I rebuilt myself, I swore I would erase the Cooper name from history completely. It is time now for you to go. Bon voyage!
That maniac just tore a hole in time-space! This whole blimp could disappear any second!
Take Carmelita and get off this thing! I need to finish this fight here and now, for the whole Cooper clan. So there's no time to argue. Just go!
Sly,
I know. Me too.
Come, Cooper. I will teach you to fight like a gentleman.
You've got some moxie, Sly. I'll give you that.
I don't know what went down between you and my father, but I'm telling you, it's not the same with me and Bentley.
You might be right. He risked his life to defend you.
I do the same for him.
Funny. Your father was never such a good friend.
We're all individuals. I might be part of all this, a member of the Cooper line, but in the end, I'm just me. Not Henriette, Thaddeus, Slighton Common, Ryoichi, or my father. Just Sly.
Please, keep your touchy-feely rhetoric to yourself. I can't stomach it. You crews a bunch of dirty, attention-grubbing thieves! All of you, thieves!
So, before we finish this, let me get one thing straight. You came after the Coopers because of what happened to your father?
No, you imbecile! I came after the Coopers to prove that Le Paradox is the greatest thief who has ever lived. Is there any doubt? If the Coopers were truly the greatest thieves in history, and I have stolen their most valued possessions, then what does that make me?
An idiot? You had it made. You could have been the biggest thief of all time, but you had to target my ancestors and blow your own cover. You exposed your operation because of your ego. No Cooper would have done that. And for the record, can you really say you stole the canes? Seems like your friends did all the real work.
Enjoy your words, Cooper, because they will be your last.
We watched as Dr. M just stood there, unwilling to leave as the walls caved in on the vault. He'd spent his life lusting over the Cooper fortune, and he wasn't going to give it up, no matter what the cost. We'd worked for a long time to get Sly into that great vault, and now its secrets were hidden again, this time for good. I could only hope that he'd found what he was looking for in there. We searched every inch of the island for Sly, retrieving the gang one by one, only to make the surprising discovery that he didn't want to be found. As always, he'd left a calling card, only this time, it was worth millions. That sneaky devil.
Everyone gets their happy ending, and the series could honestly have just ended here and I would have been completely satisfied. While being open enough to have a continuation, it has enough closure that I wouldn't feel burned if we were never to get another sequel.
By the end of the Sly Cooper trilogy, our three lovable thieves are with the ones they love. Sly is with Carmelita, Bentley's with Penelope, and Murray is with the van.
It's not often you get a chance to anticipate an ending. In fact, they'd done that extremely well on the previous two games, leaving the door ajar for potential sequels while making sure they had satisfying endings in case another chance never came. We experienced the best of what they had to offer while they could, while all the right people and resources were at their disposal to make it work. The rare mix of talents that made Sucker Punch and the Sly Games what they were are no longer together, all having taken new steps in their lives to try and fulfill their own dreams. Knowing this may be the last Sly game they make, even if they changed their mind in the future, they wanted to write something that they could at least say ended on their terms, leaving a satisfying legacy for people to enjoy. With this game, they were saying goodbye.
You won't get away with this. I'll find you.
Au contraire, Sly Cooper. I do not think we will meet again.
The skunk could barely tread water, so by the time they picked him up, he was happy to see them. Word is he earned a special cell in solitary confinement, where the only thing he'll be collecting from now on is gray hair. It's been a while since that night, but there's still no sign of Sly, or that cursed blimp. At first, we just waited, assuming Sly would show up the way he always did. But as the days stretched into weeks, we had to face the fact that he was truly lost. I get discouraged sometimes, but I'll never give up. Because I know Sly's out there, and I know that wherever he is, we will find him.
This game is a fucking fan fiction.
I've certainly had videos pushed to my YouTube homepage calling it the worst Sly game by a wide margin, citing it as an offensive mess that ruined the series. I've seen some call it outright non-canon in their minds. Some have even taken it upon themselves to write a true Sly 4.
A basic outline of why this game fails in brief: abysmal loading time, a severe over-reliance on terrible gimmicky minigames, overworlds that are simply too big, and most of all, a story that fails in every way it can. On a functional level, it makes no sense and lacks any and all of the qualities of good storytelling, and might I add, everything is insanely contrived. And as a Sly Cooper story, it completely bastardizes the story and characters beyond any level of repair, sabotaging the series and any possible future installments.
I know what you're thinking. I like time travel. I watch Back to the Future. I watch Doctor Who. This sounds great. And it does sound great. But Sanzaru doesn't really do anything interesting with this concept. Rather than using the time travel aspect to delve into Sly's history and present his ancestors as fleshed out characters, we just get a showcase of different locations and very little time actually spent with each ancestor. The time travel aspect is sorely underused, and it's merely there to have an excuse for historical levels, with each member of Sly's family being a part of the backdrop.
The story is indefensible. That is a hill I am willing to die on. Like, what do we have? Characters acting nothing like how they're established to be like, a time travel plot that made absolutely no sense, more plot holes than pixels, horrible villains with no threat or menace, abysmal cringe-worthy humor and dialogue, everything is horribly contrived, filled with coincidence, and is entirely half-baked, nothing was thought out to any great degree, all for the express written purpose of continuing a story that, let's be honest, was already concluded and didn't need to be continued. And now it will forever remain unconcluded because Thieves in Time ends on a needless cliffhanger.
Sly is shot somewhere into time and no one knows where. The player doesn't even get to see what happens to Sly. It's a pretty sad ending, and it only is made worse because this wasn't supposed to be the ending. A DLC was supposed to come out, which continued the story, but the game didn't sell well enough for that to happen.
The overworld of each locale are a little more impressive, and completers can find challenge there as they collect every hidden thingy, but they feel woefully underutilized, and increasingly so as the game progresses. Sequences of combat, remote control devices, and these rote challenges are as plentiful as they are filler and just draw out a sense of tedium. Bentley the Turtle's minigames, a hallmark of the series, are not just overly abundant, but there's nominal difference each time you play one of the three types. And while the game offers up a seeming smorgasbord of things to do, none of them feel very well thought out or terribly compelling.
Our three games feature three distinct stories with different methods and purposes. One about reputation, the struggle to accept it's cool, to maintain it, and to accept when it needs to change. A beginning, a middle, and an end.
Geez, you know, I actually get asked this one a lot. How come no pants? Put some pants on already. Donde están los pantalones? Look, okay. The answer is pretty simple. It's just that it's a little embarrassing. For me, personally. But the reason I don't wear pants is because I can't find any in my size. I mean, why won't someone just make a pair of pants to fit a husky hippo frame? It is just not fair!